Hi, this is Skoggit, and it's time for story time with Skoggit. And today's story is entitled West Texas Cotton Picker. And like I do before, I get on with the story on each video. I go ahead and crack myself open an ice cold Lone Star, and then I continue with the story. Here we're going to go ahead and pour myself a Lone Star. Then we have the story. West Texas Cotton Picker. Give you a little bit of background. This is pertaining to my life. My dad left when I was 6 years old, and so that was left for my mom to raise and take care of me. My mom and grandmother. My grandmother lived with us also, and then there was my little brother, which sadly passed away. Mom did the best she could. She didn't make a whole lot of money back then. She really didn't have an education, and she took whatever odd jobs she could find, like waitress, maid, sweeping floors, anything she could do to take care of us. And we didn't live that good. I mean, we didn't live good at all. I remember her getting a apartment, and it had like one big room in it. It was like kind of like a efficiency. One big room, and we had a bathroom and a really small kitchen. And we all slept in that room. I mean, we had a bed for Grandma. Me and my brother slept together, and we slept on the floor. And my mom had a bed. Wasn't very comfortable. It was the bed what was given to her. And we survived. Well, I wanted to help my mom out, and thought that was my responsibility. I mean, because I was the man of the house then. I was 9 years old at the time. And I decided what I'd do is I told my mom, I said, Mom, I said, I can work in the cotton fields, and I can help you. And she said, I really don't want you to do that. And I told her, I said, Mom, I said, we need the money. You need the money. We need to go ahead and, you know, maybe get ahead or whatever, but we're not going to get ahead. We're not going to do that. It was just so I could help my mom. And, you know, have maybe a better thing, like instead of eating fried cornmeal, we can have maybe some meat with it. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But my mom said, I'm not making you do it. And I was 9 years old. And I said, I want to. This is what I want to do. I want to do it for us. So during the summer, I remember the man a pickup truck would come by. That'd be 4 in the morning. You better be up at 4 in the morning, because that man is not going to wait on you. If you're not out there at 4 in the morning, he is leaving. He will stop, blow his horn once, and if you don't come out, he's leaving. It's like that quick. So at 4 in the morning, I was up every morning, and I would be out there ready to go to work. I was 9 years old. Got on the truck. Take us a couple hours to get there, because he'd go around and pick everybody up. And then we go to cotton fields. Sun comes up. It's time to start picking cotton. Work from sun up till sundown. And if you're not familiar with picking cotton, it's hard work. there was whenever they picked me up, I remember I was sitting there and there would be older men, older women. There would be the Mexican people. There would be the African American people. All in the back of that pickup truck. And I mean, these people were grown. They needed a job too. They needed to work. So that's what they did, and we all went out to the cotton field together. There was whites, Mexicans, and also the African Americans. What's funny is when we got over there, it was like we was kind of like a family. We'd help each other. I remember my mom packing my lunch, which consisted of 2 slices of bread and a government cheese put between it. Or we might have fried cornmeal. And if you're not familiar with fried cornmeal, what you do, you take cornmeal, put hot water with it, form it into like a patty, similar to a salmon patty, and fry it in like lard, and fried on one side, fried on the other, and you know, we've ate that several times, and I've took that with me for lunch several times. Now, getting back to the cotton field, the way you pick cotton is, if the cotton is ripe and ready, you can take the cotton, like the cotton boll, and just pull it out, and it will have like the stems around it. It's got like 4 stems and they have it around it. You can put that, and then you put it in the bag. If not, then you try to pull it. Well, then you have to take the whole stem and all and put it in the bag. And I'll go ahead and show you like a picture of what I'm talking about. This is a little girl, picture of a little girl back in the day, and she had a bag, what she's pulling to pick cotton. They were smaller bags. My bag was pretty small, so it wasn't all that large. Then you have people out there picking cotton in the cotton fields. There's another picture. This is really short. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about this. And then you have the grown men, which would pick cotton, and they would have like a large bag. It would be like maybe 12, 13 feet long, and they would be filling that bag up with cotton as they went down and picked the cotton. And it was a hard job. You was out there in the heat. I mean, you was out there with snakes. You was out there with all kinds of stuff. Bugs biting you. And the smaller bag, what I carried, would put like the cotton in it. And then you take it and get it weighed. When you get it filled up, you get it weighed. And I believe they would pay like $1 per 100 pounds. If you're not familiar with cotton, or you ever picked up a bag of cotton balls, that don't weigh much. So you would have to really have a lot of cotton in there in order to make any money. I mean, to make that 100 pounds. So that's like an all-day event. And we'll be out there and picking that cotton and everything. And then it would be lunchtime. Some of the guys out there, I remember, they, like the older men, they would make coffee out there, make a campfire, make coffee. What's good about these bags is if you get one of them partially filled up, they were excellent for laying down and relaxing. You could lay on them, and it's kind of like laying in a bed while you eat. While I was eating my sandwich, my cheese sandwich, or my fried cornmeal, and we'd share food. I mean, there was people out there didn't have nothing to eat. I had a little bit. I'd share mine with them, and just it was like just kind of like a family out there. We looked out for each other. Didn't matter what color you were. Everybody looked out for each other, and what's bad is there was old people out there. I mean, they were like in their 70s. I remember one time there was a black lady, African American lady. What she had to be 70 years old. She was out there picking cotton, and it was hot, and she just fell out. I went over there and I carried a little canteen on the side, and it had water in it. It was one of those. No, you seen them. They were green, and they were just a little canteen. What I put water in, and so I lifted her up and was like giving her some water and helping her out, and everybody else was over there, and it was just she had a heat exhaustion, and so let her sit for a little bit, and then she was okay. But it's just sad that people like in their 70s has to do that. That's not right. But back in the time of 1966, that's the way it was. I mean, it just was a hard time. I remember working the entire day, and on a good day, I can make $2. That's right, I'd work from sundown, so like sun up till sundown, and I'd make $2. That's on a good day. Sometimes $1. It's all according. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it was a hard time. My life wasn't all roses. I've come from a hard time. You get a 9-year-old kid right now and put him in the fields working, he wouldn't survive. Right now, they're too busy about sitting there and playing their video games, which I didn't have. I was worried about eating. I was worried about a place over my head at 9 years old. And my mom, I mean, she took care of us. That's just the way it was back then. And I know there's a lot of old timers out there, and they can relate to this story. If you never worked the fields, then you don't know what it's like. Really don't know what it's like. Now it's got rid of all the cotton pickers out there, and they got this modern machinery what does it all. So it got rid of all the workers, and there's no need for that anymore. But back in the day, you could go out on any day and you'd see them out there in the cotton fields. And I was one of them. And it just, proud that I got a chance to do that. That was a time in history. And I was a part of history. I was a part of that history. And makes me proud that I was able to do that. Not proud that we were dirt poor. It's just I'm proud that I was able to help out. You don't find that no more. You find 9, 10-year-old kids, they're playing video games. They're like, they're not going to even carry out the trash. Back then, I was working in the hot fields. Not going to go into any more about this. I've already did the story. And learned me a lot of things. When you're out there and you've done it, you learn a lot of stuff. This is Skoggit, and appreciate all you viewers and subscribers. Hope you enjoyed this story time. And like I said, if you grew up in the 50s, 40s, or whatever, and you watched this video, then you know what I'm talking about, because chances are you've been in them cotton fields. This is Skoggit. Appreciate all you viewers and subscribers out there, And y'all take care.